as the run from this point on is flat, so there's no real room to make up any errors through this section, or else you compromise the whole next lap, and the start of the lap's still quite important. So into here, you're braking at the 1 marker, and down into 5th and turning in. Now what you want to do is keep a fairly tight apex on entry. You need to keep the front left wheel up on this cambered section, and that will guide you through the corner. Now as you progress through the corner, you're just downshifting slowly into 4th, then into 3rd. Don't over rush them, you'll unsettle the rear of the car, and you want to keep a fairly tight apex. Now you're keeping the front left up on this cambered section of the track to hold it. If you go up and over that, that compromises the whole corner, and there's your lap gone. There's no real room for error in this track, and that will push you out somewhere towards the outside of the track. Now through this section, I'm actually kind of, I guess, trail braking it, but I'm turning before the brake, so you want to have the car turned into the corner before you apply the brake. It's kind of a risky thing to do, because if you brake a little bit too late, you run the risk of running wide, whereas braking the car in a straight line and turning is the easier and safer way to do it. I just find you lose a bit of time by not braking when the car's at a diagonal. So I've got it turned into the corner. So from the outside of the track, I'm turning into the apex. Now I've already applied the brake here just to minimally slow it down. Then you're off the brake and starting to get back on the throttle. Now you want to push the car close to this inside apex here. But don't hit it. You're not hitting any of the curbings out in this track. So close to the inside apex with your front right on the cambered bit of track. Move out to the outside, and then you're full on the throttle from the time of the first apex. So you're still full on the throttle, move out to the left to open the corner, and just turn it in. Don't clip that inside curb. And that'll push the car out wide. Now sometimes around here you've got to adjust the throttle. If you don't get the line quite right, you sometimes got to come out of the throttle just down to like 80 or 90%. And just to settle the car and make sure you don't run out too wide, because you don't want to go out and collect that outside dirt. And just flat down through this section. Okay, now on entry 2 here, you're wanting to use all the track. On entry, every millimetre counts, so I'm out on the far outside the track, and you're not really giving yourself a lot of room on entry. I'm even getting the car just sort of outside the track, up on that. Is there a view that can show that accurately? Yeah, up on the curbing, right to the grass. Around this corner to extract the maximum, you really do need to use all the track, as it's all about entry apex speed and minimalising the angle. So from it completely out wide, you turn in. Now you want to just lift a tiny bit on entry. And yeah, and then get back on the throttle at the apex. Although some sets you can go through here flat, I find it launches the car up a bit too much, and the time you spend up in the air, you're not actually getting traction and drive. So it's just a little bit easier just to take a bit of throttle out and keep the car settled on entry. Up over the hill. I've reversed it a bit too far, but the track's so short it's easy to do. Now again, coming out into this corner, you're using on entry all the track, getting the wheel basically onto the outside grass but not quite touching it. And I'm just lifting a little bit. I'm getting down to about 30-40% throttle. I'm not using the brakes. it lifts and you turn in. Actually no, I'm basically coming completely off the throttle on entry. You've got to get the front right wheel up to the inside curb, but don't clip it. And at the apex, go back to full throttle and push the car out wide. You want to run basically the whole outside that ripple strip to the grass. In this corner you just turn in, don't clip that inside apex, and just push the car out. So the only spot on this whole track you apply the brakes is in turn 1 and turn 2. Once you get past that sector of the track, you're not braking at all. You want to make sure you kind of hurry the front end into the apex. You don't want to run too wide, you've got to get it really tight to that inside apex. If you don't maximise that line through there, then it's very easy to not quite get it turned enough and go out and get an off track on the exit, which I don't do here. That's a lap. Short track, but it's quite complex actually. I find it as hard to get a time close to your optimal around here as at any other track, just because every corner's bumpy and off camber and uncomfortable under brakes. There's really no just flat, nice, long flowing corners with straight braking zones.